Oh hey, we're here at the Marin County Jail. This jail was designed by Lloyd Wright, and then when he passed, it was taken over by Aaron Green. Hi, I'm Jackie, and the topic that I researched was the Marin County Jail. Lloyd Wright, an American architect, designed the Marin County Civic Center. During his time alive, Wright did not have much experience in designing public buildings, which led him to ignore the fact that this center would be used for practical usage and the budget was very tight. His original design did include a jail, but the jail was extremely small and could not accommodate many people. After Wright's death, his student Aaron Green took charge of the project and was vigilant over the completion of the building. Green supported Wright's original idea and message behind the structure of the Civic Center, which he expresses by saying, "The project was conceived to improve the lives of the citizens with a beautiful environment for culture and recreation together with government. The large looming visual presence of the proposed jail and from the court facilities will be destructive to the overall environmental character of the project, of what Lloyd Wright had so creatively conceived." Once Wright passed, Green took over his work. Problems regarding the size of the jail began to arise, therefore the design of the expanded jail was suggested by Green. According to Nancy Nation, a journalist from Marin Independent Journal, crowding at the old jail became so severe that in 1985, the Marin County Superior Court authorized jailers to release prisoners early or face a $100 daily fine for forcing inmates to sleep on the floor. The overcrowding could no longer occur, which led county members to make decisions regarding how to stop crowding from happening. The Marin County Jail was rebuilt in 1994 due to the crowding that occurred in the original jail built. The new jail brought many worries upon the citizens of Marin when the proposed new jail was going to be built, such as how the jail would affect the environment, the citizens, the county, and the aesthetic of the Civic Center property.
My name is Jerome Cuenco, and my research focused on the Dominican Sisters of San Rafael's jail ministry, which happens and occurs at the Marin County Jail in San Rafael. Their ministry is one that is religious, spiritual, and therapeutic in nature. It is to provide guidance, counseling, and hope to the incarcerated at the jail ministry. Founded by Sister Marianne Irvine, this ministry occurs every Sunday, and several other people, including other religious people and lay people, take part in this ministry as well. My research is to summarize the impact of this ministry on the public history of Marin County and the San Rafael community.
Hello, my name is Piare Hari, and I'm a senior business major at Dominican University of California. I did my honor capstone project on the Marin County Civic Center and Fairgrounds Safety and Security. It's been a question to me for years that how the security and safety has been changed throughout the time, and I was able to answer my question by reaching out to the Marin County residents, Sheriff's Department, as well as the newspapers since 1950 up to today. And based on the events that happened, I found out that the security and safety has been improved after 9/11 attack throughout the whole country as well as Marin County.
We are here at the beautiful Marin County Civic Center.
Hi, my name is Emily Jin, and my project is on Lloyd Wright and his vision for the Marin Civic Center as well as the Marin Fairgrounds. So this was his first public project, and as well as the post office across the street. And it wasn't completed as planned because he passed away before the actual groundbreaking of the Marin Civic Center. And the Marin Civic Center had to be done in pieces because of the cost. It was too expensive for the taxpayers to pay all at once, so they spread it out across about 60 years. And the fairgrounds to this day have not been completed as they were originally designed. But the first project was the Marin Civic Center, followed by the fairgrounds, and he had a vision of it, and it was completed by Aaron Green.
Hi, I'm Benji, and I did my research on the indigenous people of Marin County, which are known as the Coastal Miwok. And the Coastal Miwok were a tribal nation that lived in this area, survived off of the land, and cultivated it for their needs. Shortly after the arrival of Spanish and European settlers, most of the Miwok nation was either wiped out by disease or brought into slavery at the missions. Today, the Miwok are a very small population of a few remaining descendants, and most of their burial grounds and tribal lands have been paved over and desecrated for the production of new buildings. The Marin Civic Center itself was built on a Coastal Miwok tribal burial ground, and several of the bodies were unburied and distributed to museums, and so the rest of the bodies were mulched and turned into fertilizer. Today, most of those bodies have been repatriated, which means reburied, in the Point Reyes National Park, where there is a mock tribal land set up that is preserved, and there are cultural groups or local groups working to preserve and protect the history of the Coastal Miwok.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. We're here at the Marin County Fairgrounds. Hard to believe, but it's pretty lively in the summer.
Hi, my name is Mia Lopez, and for my capstone project, I looked at how patriotism was present in the Marin Fair. So I looked at 2 years, the fairs in 1958 and 2002. 1958 was the time around the Cold War, so I looked at how the public reacted to the release of Sputnik and the fear of nuclear weapons being released. And then for the fair in 2002, I looked at how the public reacted to 9/11. I interviewed a woman who lived in Marin County, and I saw how Marin had peace groups and talks at the Civic Center and City Hall to make people feel more comfortable and talk about how they were feeling after 9/11. And then at the fair specifically, they had folk singers and this kind of peaceful, calm music to make people feel more comfortable in the months following 9/11. And in the fair in 1958 specifically, they had peace groups that also went around this idea of promoting peace at the fair to make people feel more comfortable with the events happening in their community.
Hello, I'm Christine, and my topic focuses on the community representation of popular history and local history through the themes in the Marin County Fair. So for popular history, I chose to analyze the medieval and ancient Greek themes of 1964 and 1966. And for local themes, I chose to analyze the 150th anniversary of Mission San Rafael and the 50th anniversary of Summer of Love of 1967 and 2017. So the purpose of my research was to acknowledge how Marin County portrayed these historical topics and their basic overall effort to communicate history. So I found that through the themes, the world history themes of the medieval ages and ancient Greece, simplified their portrayals by focusing on certain concepts and ideas that seem to fascinate the general public, like kings and queens and the idea of royalty. So in my interview with Carol Aquaviva, the digital archivist at the California Room, she reiterated that these types of themes seem to interest people because they were able to imagine themselves in these time eras and see how people would have lived if they were to live in that era. So local history, on the other hand, which was represented by the 150th anniversary of Mission San Rafael and the 50th anniversary of Summer of Love, were heavily romanticized, and they were presented in a way that represented the shaping of the community. In being heavily romanticized, the fair failed to represent indigenous cultures of the area, such as the Miwok Native Americans who worked in the mission. So the fair instead celebrated the Spanish culture that transformed the community. Carol Aquaviva mentioned that these fairs based on local history, such as the anniversaries, differed from popular history because personal stories played a role in the overall connection taking place at these community events. While both of these history forms were represented in different ways, both seem to promote the exercise of the concept of imagination among fairgoers. So imagination, through engaging in these fairs, through the popular and local history, is a facet significant to human development and creating that overall open-minded community.
Hello, my name is Alyssa Cantrell, and I did my research of technology at the fair. Digital technology is something that we rely on every day in our lives. Even if we don't realize it, it's something we go to from dusk till dawn. If that's going to Google looking for directions or going to Amazon to purchase your groceries, it's something we all look forward to every day. Now, this is something the Marin County Fair wanted to implement into their fair. They wanted to make the fair something exciting and something that people can look forward to every year. They, in fact, were the fair that other fairs looked up to and wanted to become like them. This included the aspect of digital technology. Once the Marin County Fair started implementing different aspects of digital technology, other fairs started as well. The first fair I looked at was the fair in 1989 titled Reach for the Stars. Just the title itself gives leeway to the idea of reaching towards the future, maybe that being the future of digital technology. At this time, about 41% of Americans were online surfing the web. This continued to grow, of course, throughout the years. In all, digital technology is something that humans will continue to use and it will continue to progress throughout our lives. And this is something that the Marin County Fair will continue to implement into their fair. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Simon Chan, and I did my research on Star Wars and Marin County Fair. With many movies, video games, and books, Star Wars has generated over hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue. In 1988, Marin County Fair housed the first Star Wars exhibit, allowing fans to interact with Star Wars memorabilia and be able to finally see in person models used in Star Wars. They had models of R2-D2, Yoda, the Millennium Falcon, and many more Star Wars models. And people would wait 2 hours outside the exhibit just to experience and see what went through the making of Star Wars. This started a movement, and the franchise decided that it would be best if they started a traveling museum and allowed fans across the United States and even the world to be able to interact with models of the movies that they loved so much. Currently, Lucasfilms has decided that they needed a permanent home for their Star Wars models and also the models used in other Lucasfilms movies. So in SoCal, they're building the Narrative Museum of Art created by George Lucas himself, and it will be a permanent place for the models to stay. And this all stemmed from the 1988 Marin County Fair.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I did my capstone project on the Marin County Fairgrounds and how they made it the greenest fair on earth and why that is important to the county as a whole. I looked specifically at renewable energies and how they utilize them. For example, for solar energy, they installed over 700 solar panels on the roof of the exhibit hall, and they worked with PG&E to get a mobile trailer to power their soundstage and other stages across the fairgrounds. They also utilized wind power with a new wind spire that they installed in 2008 that powered outdoor lights around the exhibit hall, not only during the fair but around the year. In terms of water recycling, they used recycled sanitary water from some sanitary districts around Marin County to water the lawns on the campus, as well as they reinstalled a lot of toileting fixtures, their urinals and their toilets in the exhibit hall and a few other places around. They made more water efficient, and it saved water all year round, a significant amount of water. In terms of why that's important for Marin County, it is a very ecologically friendly area around here, and it's part of the identity that we preserve the natural beauty that is Northern California, specifically North Bay, and it just kind of ties in nicely to the feeling of this area.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and my research topic is on the 1971 transition of the Marin County Fair from the Marin Art and Garden Center to the current location of the Marin Fairgrounds. The Marin Art and Garden Center is located in a small city of Ross. It was the site for the Marin County Fair from 1946 to 1970. The Marin Art and Garden Center was so loved by people of Marin County that one of the last fair, 1970, was actually themed the best of our years, and it was taken as a trip down memory lane of all the themes that were ever placed at the Marin Art and Garden Center. During this transition into the fairgrounds, it was actually not easy at all. The fairgrounds was actually still this barren area. There was no electricity. There was no infrastructure even established out on the fairgrounds. So Marcel McCoy, the fairground manager of that time, actually built the Marin County Fair from the ground up. She established all the electricity to be made, all the connectors that needed to be established, and even built up the tents that had to be up. I was lucky enough to be in touch with her son, John McCoy, and he told me of the lovely stories and all the experience he had with his mother at the fairgrounds, and how the Marin County Fair is so different from where it was before. And if it even stayed at the Marin Art and Garden Center, it wouldn't work out because of how small and how many people are actually coming and going. So in any sense, from the transition that was made from the Marin Art and Garden Center to the fairgrounds was a step forward for the future of the Marin County Fair.
Hey, I didn't see you there! Here's the lagoon! Hi, my name is Alex Nolan, and I did my project on the lagoon. The lagoon was originally created as Frank Lloyd Wright's idea for the Civic Center and Marin Fairgrounds. Originally, Frank Lloyd Wright thought that the lagoon should be a resting place for yachts and boats that can be brought in from the bay. This didn't come to light due to budgeting and is now a beacon of the Marin Fairgrounds. When you look out into the lagoon, you'll see 3 fountains spewing out water. These fountains add light to the lagoon. You will also see a plethora of birds and ducks nestling in the water's edge. The water in the lagoon is not treated, so swimming in the lagoon is not recommended. At times you will see some people walking around the lagoon, getting a nice workout. Also, you could also see some people fishing in the lagoon. The water that is spewed out of the fountain is recycled water from the lagoon. There is no filtration of the water that is in the lagoon.
See you all there!
Real models of Yoda, R2-D2, and CP03.
No, you can't, no.
My name's Alyssa Cantrell, and I did my research project on fair at the Marin County. Hello, my name's Alyssa Cantrell, and I did my... What? % of Americans were online using... At this time... Why are you running? Why are... Wait, I don't want to like...
Okay, no, okay, yeah. Okay.
Is it going?
There's a bug in your hair. Like towards the front.
You should play in bloopers. I know.
Yeah, we're definitely doing a blooper reel. Hello.
You see many things, like a fountain and many wildlife. When you look to the lagoon, you see many things, like the fountain, the ducks. Hi, my name is...
Okay, just go.
Hey, I didn't see you there. Here's the lagoon.